Hi, this is Angie with Future Life Today, and I'm back with Larice. We're going to do a surrogate hypnosis session. And a surrogate session, I have my notes I'm looking at for the lady we're using. A surrogate session is for someone who cannot be hypnotized, they don't think they can be hypnotized, or for a child, or if you have someone who has issues and you would like to assist them to move forward. A lot of people do surrogate sessions, and Larice and I will talk about it after, but she's already ready to get started. We've already done the induction. She's just relaxing there in a state of relaxation. So, and whenever I have a client, it seems like I tend to go with them as well. If I was actually with a client, I wouldn't say as much, but since I'm with Larice and we've done a lot of work together, she's a shaman, and she started to do some hypnosis. I do hypnosis and energy work. We tend to really connect quickly and easily for ourselves and for other people as well. So if there's anything I'm seeing or feeling, I'm going to confirm or expand since it is her, since it is Larice. So what we're doing is we're connecting with a lady. We've given her the pseudonym of Sarah, even though she's a real person who needs assistance. We have permission to post this online, but we're keeping it confidential with her pseudonym name. And she's having anxiety, a lot of anxiety over even little things. So we're wanting to go back and see what it is that is causing that, what's the root of it, and then we're going to ask for some healing. So Larice, are you in this beautiful place?
Oh, yes. Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So do you want to describe where you are, and then we'll go on and connect with Sarah?
Well, I'm on a beach by a lake, a big lake, one of the Great Lakes, and I'm on top of a dune, a sand dune. And I've just got formed the sand to conform to my body. So I make my own little like hollowed out place. And I'm just laying there enjoying it. On one side is, woods or forest. On the other side is the water. And the waves are coming in and out. And there's a sweet smell, a little bit of a kind of subtle, but a little bit of a sweet smell from the growing things that are on the other side of the dunes. And it's just the most wonderful place ever to me.
I was going to ask you if you smell anything, and
yeah.
What's the temperature like? What do you feel around?
Oh, it's warm. I like warm. It's probably in the 80s somewhere. And I can hear things too. That I hear the waves on one side, and there are birds. There are seagulls even, but there are other kinds of birds too on the other side of them. And it's quiet, pretty quiet, except for the sounds of the lake and then the birds and the things that are going on in the woods. And in this, where I am now, it's actually a state park, but in this situation where I'm in consciousness, there aren't any other people except me.
Yeah, it sounds really relaxing, and there's solitude, but in a good way. You have a lot of nature around you. Let's see if we want to move to connecting to a past life of Sarah, or just bringing in the highest part of herself. What are you feeling around you?
I feel the high part of her is asking for assistance. Like, it's like if somebody knocked on a door. It's like, can I come in? I need, something like that. Like, I feel that kind of thing where she wants to be admitted here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that too. Let's see if we can open the door to that highest part of her coming in now. We're connecting with the highest part of her that's directly connected to the highest, most unconditionally loving source. So we all have that part of us within us. We want to open the door to that coming in, because if that's blocked, it's just from our own blocking or from her own blocking of it. So can we open the door to that part of her today?
Yes. I'm going to open the door. It feels to me like she's been waiting a long time.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if she knows anything about it consciously, but the part of her I'm in touch with right now is anxiously or eagerly steps in through the door.
That's good. That's good. If we connect to the highest part of her, we can ask to connect, get some information, and ask for healing down, all the way down into her physical body here. A part of her that might still be even asleep too, like what's the root cause of it? A lot of the things we experience are in a past lifetime. It could also be, something happened in her childhood here, but it's generally rooted in a past lifetime. Doing the same.
Yeah, there are things that kind of repeat themselves a lot.
Yeah.
Like if she had been, if some past lives were problematic, the patterns might repeat themselves up into this life too.
Yeah, up until you're ready to completely heal it, release it, and let it go. And then we'll see what it's saying to you. What's the highest part of her? Are you feeling that the door's open now and it's easily coming through? Is it still coming in?
Yes, the door is completely open, and we're sort of, I don't know, the image I get is like rotting out the pipes that, you know, whatever the connection is between the highest part of her and the lower part that's on, you know, this level here, terrestrially, is there have been some blocked channels. And so I'm kind of doing this, you know, cleaning out all the pipes so that whatever we do here would go all the way down into her life on Earth.
Yeah, let's ask to release that blockage.
All the blockage, yes.
Release the blockage to healing and learning and not feeling deserving of that connection, that unconditionally loving connection and assistance.
Yes.
Just allow it to come in more fully, because that help always wants to be there. If it's blocked, we're the ones blocking it. It's not that it wants to not be there.
No, it always wants to be there. So many times I've seen that, and I've also seen that people's helpers, the reason I bring this up is because I see somebody with her, people's helpers want to be there to help them, and they haven't been admitted.
Yeah.
Because they don't know about it. The people on Earth don't know about it. And she's got somebody who really wants to be acknowledged and allowed to help in this situation here, where, like, we know who that is. I mean, we're seeing that person at this time spiritually.
Yeah, some people call it their guides. Let's just ask to clear her guides to the highest level, because sometimes
I would call that a guide. That's what I would call it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes the guides are not on the highest level either. We'll ask to clear her guidance to the highest level, the highest part of herself. Ask that it's on the highest level with the highest level of knowledge, and help to reconnect her. Because I think when she came here, she expected for things to be easier and for her to be more awake at this time. So.
Yeah, I think that too. There were so many blockages and barriers. She had no, you know, it's just like she went to the depths of forgetfulness like a lot of us do.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we come down here, we probably think, oh, I'm going to wake up easy, or I'm not going to go so far under the veil, but we went just completely under the veil.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So she's still, she's a young adult. She's an adult, but she's still a young adult. So be nice to wake her up, assist her with the healing at this age instead of waiting until she's, you know,
Yeah.
40s, 50s, 60s, or even older, 70s, you know, so.
Yeah, her guide is excited about this.
Yeah, I can see him like symbolically jumping up and down.
Yeah, yeah.
The guide feels like the lighter part of her. I know this person, and the guide feels like the lighter, fun part that's wanting to kind of that happy inner child part that wants to come forward and be in that lighter, happier state of joy here on earth. So,
yeah. Because that's probably one of the things that she's been really missing.
Yeah, one of her aspects. And I know you do soul retrieval too, so we can ask to bring back parts maybe as well if you feel that while we're doing this.
Okay.
Let's see, it's the highest part of her and this guidance able to come forward and give information now.
Let me see. Yes.
And as we're doing this, Lori and I, since we do this kind of work, we're doing a lot more explaining. Generally, I would take people, you know, quicker to the highest part of her, but we're trying to explain the process. So what is that? What's the highest part of her? Let's ask permission to speak to it. Ask if this highest part is willing to come forward and give questions and assist with some healing. Is the highest part of Sarah willing to do that today?
Yes.
Let's see if there's any guidance explanation you can give us for her having such a difficulty in this life with anxiety.
There are a couple of past lives where this was created, and she just brought it in with her. It was never addressed in the lives where it happened. And she didn't, I'm looking at her, you know, sort of where she is spiritually in her between lives. But there wasn't enough awareness not to bring it back into the earth plane with her.
So let me ask you before you go on. So it sounded like maybe she had healed all of it or most of it, but there wasn't enough awareness for her to go ahead and let go and move on to something else. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I don't think she even addressed it really in any way because she didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened, and she just sort of lived with it until the end of that life, and then just didn't know what to do, so she didn't do anything.
Okay, so it was just still sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what you're receiving on that.
Yeah, I agree. I see her. Let me look at her at the end of. Okay, this is the end of the last lifetime. I'm seeing like 3 lifetimes. The end of the 3rd lifetime when she was dealing with this. I think there were other lifetimes as well, but even like with the energy clearing that I do, there's these very important few lifetimes, but there can be a couple hundred that we don't have to look at in detail that can just drop off when we clear the important ones. I'm seeing 3 very relevant, just highly important lifetimes where this was on and on and on happening again and again. And she got to the end of her lifetime. I'm picturing her really young, but I think maybe that's because she's young now. She's a young adult now, but okay, she's 70. She's almost 77 in the 3rd lifetime. And she's gotten there to the end of it, and she thinks she's kind of dealt with it. She's done the typical stuff people do. They come to me, I'm sure they come to you, of counseling, talking to friends, doing her own, like reading about it or trying to figure it out, trying to let it go. And she really didn't let it go.
Well, she did her best, but it didn't quite, it didn't, cut it.
And then I'm seeing a lifetime where she only lived to be 36. And
I've seen a couple of lifetimes where she is younger and she didn't live very long.
Yeah, she committed suicide. I'm seeing alcohol and some pills, taking some pills. The other one is not, because there were 3 lifetimes coming to me. The other one I'm not seeing clearly. I don't know if you're getting anything on it. So
let's see if we can, I think maybe the best way to unravel this might be to go, if we can, to the first lifetime where this issue started to be built up and she didn't know how to deal with it.
All right, what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
She's what I see is she is a servant, maybe an indentured servant, or maybe somebody who just, she's in the position of having to serve somebody higher up who doesn't particularly, they just take their servants for granted. They don't necessarily value them or treat them very well.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels the responsibility of trying to do everything right, or is right, right, because she's sensitive, and when she doesn't do it right, she gets hammered on.
Okay.
And so tell me where you are with this.
That makes sense, because in this lifetime, she tends to get, she said she gets this anxiety over little things. And it sounds like in that lifetime, even if she did little things wrong, she was going to really get pounded because she's not respected. She's not treated well.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I see. Is like she's trying really hard, and it's, it's impossible. It would have been impossible to please that person, but for some reason that did never occur to her. That you couldn't do it any better than you were. She couldn't do it any better than she was doing it, and she was never going to be appreciated. She was never going to be supported or protected or appreciated. Yeah, like I said before, appreciation keeps coming up in my head.
She's taking it to heart, taking it personally.
Yeah.
Like you say, they're never going to be happy with anybody.
No,
it's not about her.
No.
So I'm just going to write a couple notes. So she's feeling not good enough. Like, I'm not worthy of being treated well. I'm not good enough. Something like that. Are you feeling that?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like she just thought it was her, and she just feels not good enough, and not, I don't know. Yeah, not good enough.
She has a wanting of, like, I see her looking at some people in the family. They must be children who are like teenagers, and she's like near the same age as them. She might be a little slightly older, and it's not even jealousy. It's like a wanting, it's just a longing to have that. But I feel a block where there's a block where she can't even feel jealous, can't even feel like, why don't I have that? Because she's so blocked. She just feels unworthy of it. Like she wants it, but she feels unworthy.
Yeah, but she feels unworthy, and that's the final word on that in her experience.
Yeah, she can't even picture herself being there. She's so far down.
Yeah, that's right. So. And I think that I see these teenagers, they liked her. They weren't her problem. That they liked her, but the parents are the ones that she's supposed to be serving, and they're just not happy with anybody.
Yeah. Well, the teenagers grew up around her, so she was more like one of them, but she wasn't one of them.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
was actually, but she didn't see herself. She was not allowing herself to see herself that way.
Yeah. I'm seeing her as wanting to be closer to the boy. There's like, I'm seeing 2 or 3 kids in the family, but wanting to be closer to the boy, but he's going off doing his own life because he's in such a different social class, you know. So it's like what I'm hearing is love has no bounds,
Right, exactly.
but it does, because there's that social class, and he's just going off into, you know, he's taking it lighter than she does, because he's just going off being in his social class, and the door is open to him wider because he has the money, and he seems like kind of a nice guy pretty much, but he's just off experiencing other people and other things because he's got that freedom.
Because he can, right, exactly.
Yeah, he's not necessarily the bad person we may see in movie, like, well, he's got all these women chasing him. It's like, no, he's just living his
he's
life.
just experiencing his life,
know?
right? I agree.
So, but she's taking it harder. She's sheltered, she's pushed down, her social life is more sheltered than theirs and her experiences. So she's taking it harder, and she's reaching for this savior and this love that she doesn't have. So so I'm seeing a block with that guidance and with that highest part of herself. Seems like that's a big time when she was blocking herself off from it, not feeling deserving.
Yeah, because I feel like this experience that she's having of being not appreciated, not good enough, it took up everything. You know what I mean? Like it was the final word on her life. She didn't allow anything else in, any other ideas, any other support that might have been there. Certainly not her guidance. Like she put that in the place of, you know what I mean? That was the final word.
Right.
In that lifetime.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to reiterate again, if I'm doing a hypnosis session with someone, I don't talk at all. I just have some questions that come to me and let things come to the client. So we're building this together. It's more like not just a hypnosis, but an astral travel that we're doing. So
yeah, we work as a team on Surrogate.
Yeah. Is there anything else you're seeing in that lifetime? That was the lifetime I couldn't see, so it came into view with you, and I can really see it.
Okay.
I can really see it now.
Okay, good. Well, she worked so hard in that life, trying to, you know, be better, do better, be accepted and appreciated and all that. She worked so hard, and a lot of it was physical work too. She didn't, you know, she might have lived to like 40 or something, but I mean, she didn't live that long.
Yeah, that was okay.
It was one of the, you know, she just wore herself down and never gave herself a break.
You know, and during that time period, a lot of people didn't live extremely long.
No, they didn't.
She probably wasn't getting any basic medical care, not the best food, and she could just die of an infection because she wasn't getting penicillin or anything she needed. So, all right. Is there another? There were 3 that I was seeing. Is there another to go to? There was one lifetime where I saw where I think I said she lived to be 36, where she committed suicide and she was drinking a lot.
Okay. Do you want to tap on these individually, or do you want to do it all at once?
We could do it all at once at the end.
Okay.
Because we did talk about we were just going to do an astral travel and hypnosis, but so we could tap at the end because we didn't talk about tapping. But
so write down everything. And you did already write down everything for this life, and then we'll just tap on it all at the end and clear it.
Yeah. Okay. I wrote down jealousy and not good enough. Right.
It was kind of jealousy, but it was more like longing. It was more like envy.
Yeah. Actually, I just marked out jealousy. Not worthy, not good enough. Yeah, longing.
Yeah.
Empty, not feeling loved and supported.
Yeah. And not knowing where to look to find those things. I mean, there's only one source in her estimation, and that wasn't giving anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you saw a life where she was drinking and doing drugs. And okay, let me see what this is about.
She was drinking and she took a bottle of pills. She's like,
okay,
I'm just out of here.
Okay, let me see what her situation. Why was she doing that? Oh God. Oh. What I see in this one is she's the guy in that family that she kind of wished she could follow or be with, or follow out of the situation that you saw, the teenage guy in that life.
Right.
In this life, they're involved.
Yeah, and a lot of times we reincarnate with the same people, and you started by saying, "Oh God," or something. Is that not?
Well, I said that because it's the same guy, and but I want to see why she killed herself. Like, how did that relationship go? Because I think she, must have ended badly.
Yeah, there's something negative there going on. I don't want to say anything that's possibly coming to me. I want to see what you say. And
okay. Because I want to see how that is. I mean, she really felt, since it was that same person and she gets to actually have a connection with him this time, but there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, if you're looking from a linear standpoint, this came after the first life that
right
was how I was seeing it.
Yeah, me too.
There's something he's doing. I mean, he's cheating on her, or there's something.
Oh, that's what it is. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
You thought they were really going to have a good relationship. Mm-hmm. He's just so blasé.
Yeah, so
the first, a little bit like that in the first life too, but he's just sort of blasé and it's like, yeah, okay, we'll get married. I can still do what I want,
Yeah, the first lifetime he was just off experiencing life with other women and other things, and this lifetime he actually did commit to her, but he's still off with other women and other things.
Yeah.
So, she actually
didn't know how to make a commitment.
Yeah, she got what she wanted, but he brought forward this playboy image into this lifetime, even though they didn't have as much money. He didn't have as much freedom. He did commit to her, but he said he committed to her, but he really did not.
He didn't even know what the word meant.
Yeah.
I feel he didn't know. I mean, he thought he was committing to her just by, taking marriage. He didn't know what the word even meant.
Yeah, and I see her committing suicide at age 36, and I'm seeing 2 or 3 kids. I don't know if they happened or if they wanted to have them and she died first. I don't know if you get a feeling on that. No.
I think that she did have kids because she wanted to in the first place. But I mean, part of the reason she wanted to was she thought it would help hold him.
Yeah. This is going to help him grow up and start taking responsibility.
So there's at least, I see 3.
I can see the sadness around the kids. So she's leaving the kids. Her own depression and sadness is overriding her desire to be a mother and be there for the kids.
Yeah.
But it's just really sad as she's leaving that lifetime. It's really sad because she's looking back, seeing the kids, and it's like, it's too late.
Yeah. So. Yeah. She tried to think about that, I think, a little bit before she committed suicide, but it was just too overwhelming to have lost that guy.
And you know what? In this lifetime, she said she doesn't want to have kids because I did ask her about
Ah,
that. She's married. She's a young adult. She's married, but she's
he doesn't want to.
it's
Well,
like,
I can understand that because she deserted him.
yeah, she doesn't want to even have the opportunity to disappoint again and have that.
And have that. Yeah, I understand because that turned out to be way more difficult than she was anticipating.
Yeah, the highest level of loss.
Yeah.
Um, it's like it's this epiphany coming to her as she's passing out of that loss of like, wow, I'm leaving my kids, and really, he's not going to wake up and take care of them, and his family, his parents are not going to wake up and come forward and help take care of them the way I would expect.
Right.
You know? So
Yeah, she only partially thought about it, but then when it was too late, she could see it much more clearly, and she could see that
yeah,
she would have been their only supporter and protector.
yeah. So there's regret. Writing down there's
Right.
regret.
Yeah, big time
And
regret. Mm-hmm.
it kind of reminds me of doing plant medicine where things come more clearly to you. So she was taking the medication. She was taking I just see her with a bottle of pills. She's taking
Right.
something to leave this life, and she had already been drinking, but it's like the pills help her to see some epiphany.
See things, right, when it's way too late, but they help her see. I know exactly. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's taking that with her into the next. And then the third lifetime I saw, she did live a long life. Is there anything else to see in this lifetime, though, before we
Let me see.
move out of it? So generally, I want to say in this recording, we would generally, like I said, I wouldn't be contributing so much. I would take whatever's coming to me and I would ask it as questions and let it come through the client, but it would go a lot slower. We'd be looking, it would take more time to get through the lifetimes.
Right. With the two of us, we can go, for Surrogate, you can go reasonably fast as long as you don't miss anything. And with two of us, it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really see anything else.
I don't see him waking up either. I mean, I'm just looking at after she leaves the lifetime. I don't see him waking up. He's got parents there who have a little money who could help with the kids. I don't see people really waking up to like, whoa, we need to, like,
Yeah.
he's not going.
No,
I
he didn't
my
take
ways.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Wonder what happened to him. That's not really our
Yeah,
focus,
she left behind a life undone, and the children left them in kind of a mess there. So
yeah, and saw it when she couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, so I'm just feeling some anxiety and feeling some of it stuck in my throat. Just her energy.
Yeah, she had. There's even some sorrow there.
Making notes of it. So I'll ask for some healing and release at the end.
Yes.
So are you ready to go to, I had seen a lifetime where she did live up into her 70s.
Yeah, let's go to that one.
I'm at the end of her life, so I'm trying to go back.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah.
She was trying to, I remember now, she did some counseling. She was trying to read some books or do some sort of self-help something and talking to her friends.
And I don't think she got married in that lifetime.
Yeah, I can see her shaking her head no. She was too afraid to have kids and get married. But she carried that anxiety with her. What was her childhood like? Can you see her childhood?
Oh, okay. Well, I see that childhood in that life. She had really demanding parents.
Yeah.
And it echoed that servant life where she could never get anything right. She had parents like that in this life.
Yeah, I can't do anything right.
Right.
Even if she's trying at school, she's getting okay grades. Maybe she wasn't perfect. I can see her as having something as a child, like she was writing or she was doing something she was good at, but it just wasn't acknowledged. Nothing was good enough
Right. Yeah.
for the
She
parents.
was. She was doing something like that. Let me see what it was. She loved doing it.
Mhm. And even if somebody doesn't have a special skill, if they're just trying, you know, and they're not acknowledged, it can be difficult.
Yeah, exactly. But she did have a skill. I see her as a runner, like, you know, how some people just run.
Like athletic.
Yeah, athletic, right.
Yeah, so maybe that was part of what she was doing that was helping her with her anxiety.
Yeah, because you can go into the zone doing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. She's getting those endorphins going or whatever.
Yeah, and she was really good at it too.
And are you seeing any abuse, like any kind of abuse from the parents or from the boyfriend or the husband, any of these lifetimes?
Okay, let me see. In the one we're just talking about right now, I saw, well, not exactly physical abuse, but I saw a lot of psychological abuse with those parents. They made unnecessary rules and regulations and stuff she couldn't or shouldn't do, and you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she didn't seem to have a rebellious streak. She tried to abide by this stuff.
They were living their lives through her, like they're trying to get her to do things that they didn't experience.
Yeah.
Make sure in society she looked a certain way, acted a certain way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
that's what they were doing. Let me see on the other two lives if there was any abuse. Not physical abuse. I mean, the boyfriend, or the husband, he didn't physically abuse her. He just like made promises he couldn't keep. He didn't know himself that well now. But I think in the servant life, I think there was abuse.
Yeah, I can see her being like, I see them hitting her in the face at one point, just kind of a backhand, like,
yeah,
look at what you did. Like she's trying to serve them. And I think it's the man of the family just backhands her, raises his hand and hits her. And it's almost like he didn't even, at that time, didn't mean to do it. I'm sure there were other times in private when they did do it. This was in public in front of a few people.
Wow.
And,
yeah. Well, he did it more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's physical abuse. And then in the servant lifetime, the first lifetime, the second lifetime, there was the boyfriend was neglectful. He's just off doing his own thing. So she's got that loneliness.
And he didn't help her with the kids. I mean, they're his kids too. And he didn't, you know.
Right.
I mean, he might have paid for stuff because I think he was the breadwinner in this situation. But other than that, he didn't help with their rearing at all.
Yeah. I think he had the thought process, I'm going to get up, go to work, and I'm providing the home, and then I'm going to go out and do what I want. I'm still going to act like in a single life.
Right.
Doing what I'm obligated to do and providing a home here. Okay, let's see. So let's go back to that third life. She decided to stay single. She decided not to have kids. She just blocked that off instead of experiencing it. She could have potentially, I can see that third lifetime as a lifetime where she could have potentially healed off some of this.
Yeah.
You know? So let's see what else happened in that lifetime. I think that was a life she was supposed to let go of this anxiety, and my dog's starting to cough. So there's going to be that weird noise there for a moment. I think that lifetime she was supposed to let go of the anxiety and actually experience life more, and she didn't. She chose to shelter herself and not experience life the way she could have.
Yeah.
So, she wasn't fulfilled as much as possible. And she didn't develop that skill that she had as a child, whatever that was. So you saw running,
Mm-hmm.
you saw her, the athlete in her.
Yeah. And I don't think, her parents valued that.
Yeah.
So they didn't encourage her to keep it up.
Yeah. And I can see her potential of like, could have been Olympics, or it could have been just like, she's just, just doing really well running marathons.
Yeah, certain races that people,
Wow.
like more local races that people have, she could have excelled there.
Yeah, being really fulfilled in that. So, and it could have helped her to feel a sense of accomplishment. All right, is there anything else you can see too? So I'm just going to write down like an unfulfilled life there.
Yeah. Well, and I think she tried somewhat, but she didn't know how to reach up far enough to actually accomplish anything. I mean, her trying was kind of the same old thing it always was, where you try to satisfy whoever is making demands of you, and she didn't know anything else to do. Except maybe towards the end of her life later, like maybe from her 50s onward, she started to get the notion that there was something else you could do. She had friends that sort of supported her and helped her, and she was looking more into things like that. And I get this sense of complete overwhelm at this point, like, oh my God,
Right. Okay, let's see if we want to move through those lifetimes. If I was actually hypnotizing a person, we would go through the death process, but we're doing a surrogate and we're traveling together. I don't feel like we need to go through that.
No, we don't. What I would suggest at this point in time is to use, CTT, consciousness transformation tapping, to clear these lifetimes. And you've written down everything, right?
Yeah, I've written down everything. So, general hypnosis, we would just do a hypnosis, ask for healing. I like to integrate several modalities. So
yeah, I do too.
The client is open to it. So yeah, let's do the CTT. So we'll do a tapping. Is similar to, is it called EFT? What is it that?
Yeah, EFT, right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't remember what they stand for, those letters.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter. Most people have heard of it. So
yeah, in CTT, it's the tapping itself is much simpler, and the point of the tapping is to kind of unify the two hemispheres of the brain.
Right.
And it neutralizes the energy of these issues, where you can look at them much more dispassionately, like, okay, this happened to this. You don't have the charge on it anymore. And then you can make progress.
Yeah, there was research done over crossing, like physically crossing from one side to the other side of your body. There was actual research on that. With the tapping, we just do cross on each shoulder. Yeah. With the EFT, they tap on certain points of the body. So, all right. Do you want to go ahead and do that, or
Oh yeah, let's do that right now.
Let me say though, before we do that, in this lifetime, she has had some abuse. So do we want to tap anything around that as well?
Oh, okay. In this lifetime, she had it. So that carried into this. Okay. So let me think about that. Let's see, how do I put this? Hasn't been able to stand up for herself. I mean, she's carried too much
power.
She carried too much of that forward, and she didn't have the concept. So it's able to repeat over and over again.
Yeah, she's not standing in her power. So
No. So maybe we should say something about that in the tapping.
and then just assist with releasing her anxiety and the abuse.
Right. And that's what, so that was one of the things that you wrote down, right?
Mhm.
Anxiety. What else? Regret.
That was what she came in for, was anxiety.
Right. Right. And so,
Abuse, unworthiness, not good enough, empty, not feeling loved, supported.
okay. So this is going to be kind of a long one, but yeah. And then maybe we should do a separate tapping to assist her to stand in her own power.
Yeah.
I don't want to lump that in with all the rest of this stuff. They're related, of course.
And we've gone a little bit long today. We could go ahead and stop this and make this into 2 recordings. What do you think about that? Because then
I think that would work. Yeah, we can do that.
So we'll start the next one with the tapping and with an explanation. So
okay.
All right. So this is Angie and Laurice. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording today, and I'll do the other one as a part 2. So if you would like to do your own private session with us, or if you know someone, please contact us, Angie and Laurice with Future Life Today. And please like and subscribe. Thank you.